Hey, what is up, everyone? It's me again, Gamerlush, with another episode of Final Fantasy Impressions. Now, guys, like I was saying from the producer letter, I was going to make a separate video for my concerns about the Arcanist, Scholar, and Summoner. Because a lot was revealed for it because that was what was on everyone's mind. It's like, oh, awesome, brand new class. We know people who have played the first iteration of 14 haven't even tried it. It's something totally brand new. What's it going to be like? It's pretty much baseline. It's going to be a debuffing pet class. So I guess I know I keep referencing it, but because it's pretty much the most well-known MMO on the Earth right now, it's basically going to be kind of like a warlock, but the effects are different. Instead of having like summoning demons, you're summoning gods of the different elemental planes, or fire, wind, water, what have you. Which is fine by me, because me, personally, I really hated warlocks. Personal opinion is, no qualms against warlocks. Maybe. But, I will be playing one, definitely. From what I've seen, the class intrigues me, but the thing was, one of the big questions was, can the Arcanist's stats be shared between either the Summoner or the Scholar? What does that mean? Okay, so let's say I level up a Gladiator. I know later on that I'm going to be graduating or leveling or changing my job into a job of a Paladin. Those stats that I was concentrating on the Guardian are going to transfer very well over the Paladin, because that's what the Paladin needs as well. But the Summoner needs intelligence. The Scholar needs mind. The Arcanist seems that all of its main skills seem to be debuffing, debilitating, and attack spells. So as you're leveling up, you want to concentrate more on intelligence. That doesn't work very well with the Scholar. Yeah, so I can see how it would conflict with interest. So people who are thinking of being another type of healer besides the white mage is like, I want another alternative than just spamming the same heal over and over and again like that, are going to have this identity problem with like, okay, so now I'm leveling my character up as a damage dealer, but all of a sudden when I hit 30, I can go ahead and start increasing my mind. The game will let you reallocate your points, but it's not going to make it very easy, like just running up to an NPC and just like, oh, do you want to change your points? Oh yeah, sure, okay, here you go. It's probably going to make you do something like spend the gold or go on a quest or do something. It's just not going to be easy. I'm pretty sure it's not going to be that elaborate or whatever. It just kind of makes you think about, do I really want to do that right now? Or it's going to prevent you from like, oh no, I'm just going to do this and this and this. And it's like, oh, I want to reallocate my points. But it's like, that wouldn't have been a problem, seeing how a lot of the class skills stats work very well with the job skills. But unfortunately, the Arcanist is a whole new monster, animal in itself, because I'm going to be leveling up and seeing how it works out. I'm going to level up my Arcanist to be more like a Scholar. So I'm going to probably have problems leveling up early in the game because my intelligence is not going to be as high as it's going to be. But the fact that I will have a pet to help me out, and I'm not sure if Arcanist will be able to summon Chocobo companions along with their pet. So basically doubling up the backup that you have, basically making kind of OP for like PvP. I doubt they'll let you, well, I'm pretty sure they won't let you summon companions for PvP matches or whatever like that. I'm going to go over the Summoner and Scholar skills real quick. Just kind of give you a feel of what kind of classes these are, and I'm going to go over the pet abilities. These were data mined, and I'm really kind of wary of talking about these because Square Enix was pretty pissed off when these were data mined from the benchmark character creator. But I'm not that big. It's like I'm not gonna admit it right here. I'm not super. Like, I don't have like a million subs or whatever. Don't get me wrong, guys. I appreciate and love the fact that you guys sub, and I appreciate you all. And much love for all of you that subscribe and continue to watch my videos. So that I want to share my opinions for you about the Summoner and Scholar. I will be leveling it probably might be my main. I'm probably going to tell you right now, considering the fact that my mains are going to be all caster classes. The only hand of war I'll probably be leveling up will be the Archer, so I can make a Bard class, because I love buffing, healing, and spellcasting classes. Alright. Of course, you're going to hit 30. You're going to get those quests to get the Summoner Gem and the Scholar Gem. The first one, the Scholar gets Assessor, or it restores the HP. It has 300 potency, so basically the same potency as a regular cure. But when you cure them, it puts a shield around them for the same amount that you cured them for. So you cure them, plus put a shield around them. Now, I know what you're thinking. Yes, I keep going back to it. It's like a Discipline Spec Priest. Now, when I was playing World of Warcraft, Discipline Spec Priest was my favorite type of healer. I always played Discipline Spec Priest. This is basically right up my alley. So this makes me even more excited to play Scholar than I was before. When the heal crits, it doubles the strength of the shield. That's insane. That's awesome. So this gives me the chance to, when I heal them. Oh, guys, I'm sorry. I keep forgetting this because I guess I'm just so enthusiastic to talk about this. Guys, raise your glasses. Cheers. He's like, son of a bitch, this is the only reason why we're watching. You watch him drink. Alright. So let's say I can I heal him, he puts a shield on him, and it crits. So I don't have to worry about healing him for a bit, unless these monsters just dealing out dopamine type of damage. I can just basically throw the dots on that I have from my Arcanist, so I can basically throw in some damage in here while I wait for my shield to mitigate the damage and take it all in, and then I can throw up another heal on them. Awesome. That's great. That's all. I just put a lot. So I hear a lot of people saying that white mages are basically boring as snot to play because all you're doing is spamming heal. And I would have to agree with them, but I'm still going to be playing white mage. I just like healing. That's just like. But if you guys want to heal and you guys, want to actually deal some damage, go for Scholar. It sounds like it. Now, guys, this is 100% guaranteed that this might happen, but from what I'm seeing, it looks pretty promising. Moving on to Summoner. You get a level 30, you basically get a summon attack pet. This is most likely you're going to be attacking or summoning Ifrit or Garuda, because Titan seems to be more of a tanky pet. I will get into that later on here, but when I go over the different pet summoning pet skills. Okay, so back to Scholar. At level 35, you get Successor 2. This is basically the same thing as Successor 1, but it's an AoE around you, the person who's casting the Scholar. So you're going to run up real quick or get into the middle of the party, cast it, it'll put a heal, but only 150 potency. It's a smaller AoE heal, but it still put that shield around you. So let's say the mob does a AoE damage. The team gets jacked up a little. You run in, hit it, it'll give you that little bit of time to basically do the single target healing while the shield's taking damage, and let's say he hits it again, or one of the DPS is acting silly and grabs aggro or whatever. Okay, going on to Fester for the Summoner. This is basically I will go over Scholar first and then Fester because they both get these skills at the same level. Summoner will get Fester. Deals 100 potency on the target per dot. So if you cast Bio 2, Miasma. If you guys are wondering what these skills are, go back to my other video. They're pretty much the same. Okay, so let's say you have Bio and Bio 2 up. It'll only hit for 200 potency. If you just have Bio 1 on it, it'll only hit for 100 potency. If you have all three up, Bio 1, Bio 2, Miasma, it'll hit for 300 potency. But it says only to self-implied dots. So let's say you have 3 summoners in the party, and you have 9 dots in this person. It won't take those dots from those other summoners, because if that were the case, it'd hit for 900 potency, and that'd be overpowered. I can see where that would come. Every raid group would be stacking up on summoners to do damage, and that just wouldn't be fair and unbalanced. You have to be on their ether flow. This is a stat that the Arcanist works. I don't want to get into that too much because it only affects so many spells, and it's kind of mechanic. Ether flow is a skill that they add to the Arcanist, even though I just said no, I don't want to get into that. Okay. Arcanist gets a skill called Ether Flow, which heals 20% of the mana that the Arcanist has. It puts an Ether Flow buff on the target. So this affects a lot of the skills of the Summoner and the Scholar. Okay, that's pretty much what I'm going to go on. Alright, at level 40, the Scholar learns Leech. Removes a single detrimental effect on the target. So this is kind of like Inertia for the White Mage, basically. And then Scholar gets Tri-Disaster. Basically gets an AoE bind on, so it casts an AoE bind on the target and anything around it will get bind. That's pretty cool, right? Alright, and plus it does an initial hit, so around 30 potency. A weak hitting thing that binds everyone around the target you hit. I know I keep referencing this. Okay, so it's basically you cast the mage from World of Warcraft casts Frost Nova around him. It freezes him and does a little bit of damage. It's basically like that, but you can target a mob and hit them with that. A little bit more convenient, in my opinion. Alright. At level 45, the Scholar gets Sacred Soil. Creates an area where everyone takes 10% less damage. And I go back to the Ether Flow thing. So if you have Ether Flow, it gives you a 20% chance that your Assessor 2, when you cast it, will not cast an EMP, will not take an EMP, or not cost an EMP. So you cast Sacred Soil, you run into the middle of the group, you cast Sacred Soil, you have Ether Flow on, it procs, and so it's like, okay, so everyone's taking a pretty good, decent amount of damage. Let me go ahead and run over here, Sacred Soil, and it's like, oh, it procced, so now I can hit my AoE heal plus shielding them. So on top of that, the fact that they're taking 10% less damage, they just got healed, and plus they got a shield around them. It seems like the Scholars are going to be a pretty good AoE healer and just damage mitigation type S healer. Okay, at 45 now, that's what's for the Scholar gets. The Summoner gets Spurn. Spurn increases the pet's physical attack and magical attack by 40%. Okay, so this is a big bursty thing that they get. We want them to, so it's like, okay, he's down to 15%. Everyone just burn all their cooldowns or whatever. So the Summoner's going to cast Spurn, and their pet's going to basically do 40% more damage than what they're doing already. Okay, basically a cool buff for the Summoner. Alright, level 50. Everyone gets their ultimate skill, or it's not really ultimate skill, it's just their last skill that they get. The Scholar will get a Lustrate. Restores 20% of the target's maximum HP, has a global cooldown of 1 second, and is only allowable when you have Ether Flow. When the Arcanist is leveled up to level 50, you can have 3 stacks of Ether Flow max, basically. When they cast a certain spell, they'll get 3 stacks of it. I'm thinking Illustrate basically does is you can keep casting for every stack that you have. So you cast it again for 20% free HP, you still have 2 stacks. You cast it again for another 20%, you still have 1 stack left. And you cast it again for another 20%. So over 3 to 4 seconds, you can basically cure a person's HP by 60%. That sounds pretty good. So it's just like pretty much like, oh crap times. It's like heal, heal, heal. But can you pull those heals off? Well, like the monster's doing super burst damage. It's another mechanic kind of keep you on your toes there. The Summoners will get Enkindle. This is the iconic move that all Summoners have. Summoner will run out in the if you guys go to the old classic Final Fantasies where it's his turn, he'll run out. Those green orbs around him will float around with the little flames in them, and the summons will do that ultimate skill that pops out. That's basically what Enkindle does. It does its signature move and has a 5-minute cooldown. So shit hits the fan, Summoner does its thing, does its old crap thing, and basically does a big bursty damage. But this is only for like 5 minutes, so it's not like you can keep doing these big super cool bursty damages like every minute or so. That'd be kind of overpowered, I believe. So it's like looking forward to something. So Summoner and Scholar are definitely something I really would want to level at this point. And the fact that there's that conflict of interest thing going on, I just want to see how it will level. Alright, so as the Arcanist, you're going to get 2 carbuncles. The Emerald type, which is the attack type, and your Topaz one, which is basically going to be tanky type. Each one of the summons you get will have 4 skills to it, and they'll actually have a bar to themselves. And the PlayStation controller will even have a little hot bar for themselves, or action cross wheels or whatever they have. So I'm going to go over those skills and kind of give my opinion on them. Okay, so the first one, Emerald Carbuncle, is going to be your very first pet as an Arcanist. Your first two, they're going to get 2 skills. Level 1, they're going to get Gust with the wind damage. Carbuncle seems to be the wind elemental at this point, even though he's more neutral than a lot of the other ones. He does a 90 potency wind damage attack. Then Backdraft, he does an 80 wind potency knockback. So it basically knocks him back. So with the mobs getting a little too close to you because you're dragging too much hate, let Carbuncle basically do a knockback, and then you can maybe do a bind spell or whatever. Level 20, he gets Burst Down. It's an AoE 80 potency attack. So unless you probably would do this in a group if you need to do some AoE damage. At level 40, he gets Shining Emerald. Extends the Master's dot effects by 15%. So I'm pretty sure when you have a bunch of dots on them, you hit this and it'll extend it for another 15 seconds. So you don't have to keep casting all your dots. So I don't have to cast Bile, then I'll have to cast Bile 2 again. You don't have to cast Miasma. I can just hit Shining Emerald and it'll refresh them pretty much for 15 seconds. The Topaz Carbuncle is your tanking one. So Shining Topaz will do an AoE effect of 30 potency, increasing immunity. So if you're pulling multiple mobs, you're going to have them run in, hit Shining Topaz, and it'll hit all of them and increase the immunity on it, and they'll be all on Topaz Carbuncle. Gouge. Single target damage, 70 potency, creates immunity. If you're doing only one mob, you pulling, do Gouge, and it'll just hit that one mob. Level 20, sorry, you get Curl, and it'll, I guess, curl up into a ball, the action or whatever, and decreases damage the pet takes by 20%. So if you guys watched my last video, you can do a sacrifice where you sacrifice your life and it'll actually heal your pet over time. So hit Curl, do sacrifice, give a little bit back of its health back, go back to your attacking. Level 40, you'll get Storm. Delivers attack potency of 60, then plus stuns. So hit him with a stun, put him in a curl for 20 seconds. Let's say Carbuncle's getting pretty low. Hit him with a stun, get into a curl effect, do sacrifice, and then get him back up, and then do your whole rotation again. Alright, now with that said, the Scholar, instead of getting Carbuncle, she'll get a Fairy. Fairy, yes, is one of these summons that has been in a bunch of Final Fantasy Tactics. One of my top 10, one of my, at least I think number 3 or 4 in my top 10 games of all time. Fairy, also in Final Fantasy VI, and a bunch of other ones, I'm sorry. Anyway, Fairy, so the Scholar will get a healing pet and a support pet. So the first 2 skills they'll get is Whispering Dawn. It's an AoE regen around the pet, so the Scholar seems most of its time is probably going to stay in the center of the party. So your damage dealers are going to be behind you, your Disciplines of War are going to be in front of you, because your pet's going to be sitting right next to you. So you want to be in the middle of the party, because it seems that the AoE is based on you and your pet. So you're going to get a potency of 100 for 21 seconds, a regen basically. Then it's going to get Embrace, basically a single target healing skill. So while the Scholar is putting up shields, the Fairy is basically going to be doing all your basic healing. Now, I'm not sure what the cooldown is going to look like, but it's pretty much seeing that the Scholar looks like it's going to be a pretty damn good healer at this point. Alright, Fey Conveyance, it's going to increase magic defense around the Fairy by 20%. I'm pretty sure this is a longer cooldown, so if the mob is going to be the mob or a boss is going to do a super AoE, you're going to pop that real quick. It's going to say, Marbro is revving up for a poison attack. Hit that real quick, the magic effect will go around you and the thing, and you can take 20% less magical damage. Fey Illumination increases cure potency around the pet, so I'm pretty sure this will increase the cure potency for the Scholar and, let's say, a White Mage is in the party as well. This will probably be more useful for raids or what have you, so the White Mage is falling behind on cures, pop Fey Illumination, and then her cures will basically do super amount of times than usually are, and you can jump into with your heals. Support Fairy. You can do Silent Dawn. Silence the target for 1 second, has a 40-second recast time. This is funny, this actually tells you what the recast time on this one is. So there you go, you have a basic silence. Embrace. It's the same thing as the Healing Fairy. Basically, you heal. Okay, these buffs are pretty much going to be why everyone's going to want a Scholar in their raids. Fey Glow increases spell speed around 30% for 30 seconds. So, yeah, I'm going back to it again. It's like heroism and bloodlust or whatever for Shaman. And at 40, but it's only for spell casting. At 40, that's when they get it for attack speed. Or skill speeds. For 30 seconds by 30% for 30 seconds. So yeah, I got a feeling that everyone's gonna pretty much want a Scholar, a support type Scholar for that one. Alright, that's pretty much it. You get 2 fairies, you get 2 carbuncles. Summoner gets 3 pats though at this point. So we're gonna go on the Summoner. Now this is kind of cool. I can see how for early parties, a Arcanist can actually fulfill the tank role in the party by having Topaz Carbuncle run in and do his thing, doing the AoE immunity thing and do the single target. Just making sure that you guys manage your AoE, and the White Mage, or the healer of the party, heals Topaz Carbuncle. Now this kind of transfers over to Summoner. When you get Titan, you get Mountain Buster. It's in 70 AoE potency and it creates immunity. Rock Buster is a single 85 potency, creates immunity. Earthen Ward, sorry, at level 20. Decreases damage suffered by pet for 20%. Landslide does a 70 potency and stuns. It's basically the same like Topaz Carbuncle, but it's Titan, and you get a Enkindle, basically that super move. And Earthen Fury basically does an AoE 200 potency and does a Earthen Rage. It doesn't say what that does, but it seems like a Summoner could probably fulfill the role of a tank, actually. Just have his tank run in and just keep him alive while you're dotting, and hopefully the White Mage or whoever is healing Titan at this point. So basically a Summoner can fill all 3 roles. Do you have a caster class that can basically fill all 3 roles? I'm definitely making a Summoner at this point. So when I'm starting at first, I can have Topaz Carbuncle tank for me, and as the things go on, I can have Titan tank for me at this point. Or I can go into a Scholar and have him heal. I can go in a Scholar and heal. Or I can just be a regular Summoner and summoning Freet or Garuda. Like I said, I'm looking forward to a Summoner. Alright, moving on to Ifrit. Crimson Cyclone. You do a 105 potency stun, has a 40-second cooldown. Burning Strike. Single target attack that does 120 potency. Radiant Shield. 50% potency damage every time Ifrit is attacked, so when it's hit, it'll do damage, kind of like Thorns. Flaming Crush. AoE potency of 105. That's the AoE damage. And Inferno. It's an iconic move. It's a conal damage, so basically in front of it, in a cone, 200 damage, and then it puts a dot on them for 20 potency dot for 15 seconds. Looks like here. Yeah, 15 seconds. Sorry, guys. All right, so basically, yeah, Ifrit's going to be your attack pet for casters. So while he's doing his thing, you guys be putting up dots, and you're all good. All right, so Garuda, Windblade, potency. It's basically a simple attack that does 100 potency. We've got a 90, and then Shockwave. You have a 90 damage knockback aerial slash. It deals AoE wind damage around the target. So you hit the target for 90 damage. Then it does an AoE damage knockback, so it basically knocks everybody back from our target, doing 90% potency damage to all those targets. So Garuda will come in, hit the target. That target will basically send out a shockwave, hitting everything around it, doing 90 damage to them too. Kind of cool. Kind of a get off me move for the party. Kind of get their bearings and everything if you're just being swarmed by a bunch of people. Okay, Aerial Slash deals AoE wind damage around the target. AOP putting okay, so Aerial Slash basically does an AoE damage around the target, 90 potency, plus extends the Master's Dots abilities by 15 more. So it's kind of like the original Emerald Carbuncle. Basically does an AoE thing, but basically extends the amount, or kind of refreshes. Ooh, excuse me. Refreshes your dots. Speaking of which, cheers, guys. So let me reiterate. She'll cast it. It does AoE damage. Let's say the summoner has a bunch of dots in the whole party. He'll hit everything around that target and refresh those dots by 15 more seconds. Cool. Alright. And then basically, she has again Contagion. It sends the master's dots, so basically it does it again, but I believe it does it only on one target. And then has its ultimate skill, or Enkindle, is basically Aerial Blast. It's a 250 potency AoE blast. So you basically have two different damaging summons, and then you have a tanky summons, basically making the summoner and scholar very versatile. Well, basically making the summoner more versatile to where it can lead a tank role or a DPS role. So like I said, that's pretty much it, guys. I'm looking forward to these classes, and that's probably going to be my main while leveling up with this, leveling with you guys. And guys, I'm going to be playing on Excalibur. I still keep getting this question. No problem, I don't mind re-answering it. I'm going to be playing on Excalibur. I do want to put a brand company together, and I will be making a link shell. I appreciate your time with me. I hope you enjoyed your time with me. If you did, please subscribe, put a comment below, like, join me, stay tuned. I will be releasing more videos. And as always, cheers and game on. Leave PvP specific items that, you know, armor, gear, or whatever. Armor, gear, the same thing. What? Anyway, he's just gonna be checking to see how characters will interact with each other and like how good the data transfers from server to server. And so travel, stay with your group, and try to find your own kind of unbalanced ways to take out groups. Guys, like I said, don't get frustrated. And to tell you the truth, people who are just getting and don't have legacy characters can't chest it out anyway. I'm going to try to see if my character, if she can get to that area and test out PvPing, but I'm going to probably get stomped by a bunch of level 50s anyway, so I will try to get that for you guys. If not, I'm sorry, I'll just move on and just cover the stuff that you in beginning area, because the beta 4 phase